On September 18, 2022, there was a security breach in Rockstar Games and somebody published 90 videos of early development footage from GTA 6. And today we're gonna talk about a couple of things that you would not have noticed if you just looked at the footage and didn't really think much of it. So here is your spoiler warning. If you don't want to know anything new about GTA 6 and want to go in fresh, please click off this video. If not, let's get into being able to buy a gumball from Gumball Machines. Yes, that's something you probably didn't notice. There's this piece of footage where there has been playtests of going through a door, just opening and closing a door, super simple. A developer has to make sure that that goes smoothly and the door doesn't fly off or something. But there's this little notification outside at the Gumball Machine saying if you press triangle you can get a gumball. Now, we don't know how or why this is a thing. Probably, in my opinion, and this is speculation, is that it kind of increases your health, just like in GTA 5 or GTA 4, just having consumables being health increasers. I cannot really see it being like in Black Ops, what is it, 3 or 4 with the zombies, that it gives you special abilities or something. If there's gonna be special abilities that have a limited amount of time, it's probably, and again this is speculation, going to be like at a drugstore, or you can get drugs and they give you special abilities. That would be super cool actually. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, please get me to a bazillion trillion subscribers by tomorrow. Also, members are now available, so if you want me to mention your name at the beginning of the video, you can hit the join button and become a member. Let's get back to the video. Now, the second one is also going to be something very interesting, and that is the movement mechanic. So you probably know that you can walk while in cover and you have the ability to prone, but what you didn't know is that you can also, when under fire, people are shooting at you and firing at you, you can use a gun or a melee weapon like a bat to cover your face in order to not get shot in the head. Now, I have no idea how this is gonna turn out in the real game, but it seems like a very cool mechanic that is, to me, absolutely mind-blowing that they would even think of something like that, implementing it in the game. It's absolutely insane to me, and it makes me wonder what from that 2022 development stage up until now is gonna be added in terms of gameplay. Now, something else is if you're aiming your weapon, you can actually switch to the shoulder side when aiming, which is just a little bit of a cool thing. I don't know what it would be good for. Maybe this is something for online, a little bit more of a competitive gameplay mechanic to just be a little bit more versatile within the movement system of the game. Number 3 is the police system. Well, what do you already know? Well, you probably already know that in addition to the wanted level star system, there's also going to be a recognition system. You already know this if you have seen the leaks, right? So the police can recognize your face, so that's why in the trailer Lucia and Jason are wearing a mask to cover their face, and in the police system, if you drive into a car and the police knows what car you are in, you are more likely to be found quicker. If you go into a different car, then you're making it the police a little bit more difficult. I'm assuming that that's something you've already been aware of. Now, something else that you probably didn't notice is that there is something called cop traps. And this means that there is actually a chance that the cops will ambush you in the game. And these are set events depending on where you are in the game. And this goes from general things like an alleyway or an apartment complex to food trucks, a specific hotel, specific places where you can get a massage, which are massages gonna be in the game? Did you notice that? We don't know, but that sounds very cool. I wouldn't know what the purpose of that would be. Maybe agility, that you can stretch better? I don't know. And I do think that most of this system is procedural, so in any alleyway this could be able to happen, or in any apartment complex this could happen. And this makes for so many fun situations, and the cop system is gonna be so much more fun. I'm getting super excited, bruh. Imagine all the possibilities when running from the cops, especially in the beginning of the game, bruh. If you as Lucia are playing and you have that ankle tag and you want to explore Vice City but you cannot go anywhere, now you have two cool things to do. You have to run from the cops in a very creative way, get super creative with it, and you can also explore Vice City. It's double the fun. So man, I'm getting so excited. Okay, let's go to number 4. You probably already know about how detailed the car interiors are. You can can change every little single thing. Maybe that's a development thing rather than a gameplay thing, but everything is adjustable. All the car seats, the steering wheel, the mirrors, everything is adjustable. But did you know that if you go into first person while driving a car in GTA 6, you can actually see the GPS and the waypoints of it, which is super handy if you're gonna play without a HUD, without a HUD, and you want to still be able in a natural, realistic way to see your GPS and your minimap. You could just go to first person and see where you need to go. And for number 5, you know that there is gonna be wildlife. We've seen that in the trailer, we've seen that everywhere, but there's gonna be little cool events from the wildlife, not only in the Everglades but also in Vice City itself, because you probably haven't seen that there is a raccoon searching through trash, and it's even stealing cans and stealing food bags, which is wild. And this is a described world event, so not only are there different animals, all these different animals, every single one of them are gonna have different animations based on where they are, doing stuff, actually living a life, just like the NPCs in Red Dead Redemption 2. They have a daily routine. Well, animals are gonna also have a daily routine, which is absolutely amazing, crazy to think about, and it's gonna make the world feel so alive. Now, things like a raccoon climb out of garbage is called an NYE, which is a natural interactive event, aka, in my own words, just animals doing random stuff, you know? And just for fun, let's go and speculate some possibilities for natural interactive events of other animals. How about just an alligator sunbathing lazily on a golf course? Maybe when you golf and the golf ball gets close to the alligator, it steals and runs away with it or eats it, and you gotta do that whole thing over again. Maybe at like a market where they sell fish, you have a stray cat who is stealing and swiping the fish away and just runs off. Maybe in the Everglades you have a pelican diving for fish, and you can see them actually go into the water and then get out of the water with a fish in her mouth. Maybe at a hiking place there is NPCs walking and they jump away scarily because there is a snake in there just lurking around. I think those type of things would be super cool to see in GTA 6, making the world really alive, man. I would love that so much. For number 6, we all know that you can drive motorcycles in GTA. That's not really a special thing, but have you noticed that when Jason was in a shipping container picking up a Sanchez motorcycle, he is getting on the bike, and what you can notice is that before starting the bicycle, his right hand is pressing the brakes first, which is a really cool attention to details. I imagine, and I'm gonna have to ask my friend who rides a motorcycle, probably the answer is yes. In a car you hit the brakes first before you go drive as well, right? Before starting your motorcycle you'll press the brakes, just a really normal thing to do. And I love these kinds of attentions of details because you already know that the same thing will be applied for when somebody gets into a car, turning the handbrake off. Things like that would be super cool to see. Maybe even adjusting the mirrors if you get into a car for the first time. Maybe the character will do that every time, but that's just speculation. The real thing is Jason putting the handbrakes on a bicycle before driving. Number 7 just goes to show how to intertwined everything is, and everything is connected with each other in the world of GTA 6. So there is this moment from the 2022 footage where the camera is aiming up. It seems like the camera is under the ground aiming up at like a park with like a stone type of bench with some scenery, some cool trees, and the NPCs are looking at their phone, either taking a selfie or just typing on their phone or scrolling or whatever, and it is all wireframed. But what's not wireframed is some of the foliage, like the trees and greenery, and what you can see is that the wind is actually blowing through them all the same. So in previous games and normally in games you just have a random turbulent generator, which means that plants are just kind of pretending to be windy, going in any direction, and it's not connected at all. But in this little piece of footage you can see that the wind is going clearly one direction. It's clearly all connected with each other. And not only that, every single piece of foliage, every tree has different weights to it. So you can see that the palm trees are a little bit more heavy than just regular trees with little leaves on them. The little leaf trees are flapping way more in the wind than these palm trees, which is a really big attention of detail that I really appreciate. This could give a clue towards if there is going to be storms, that everything is going to go super nuts and it's going to be super realistic. And man, imagine palm trees with their heavy leaves and like small wood really getting bent all to one direction to see how great the wind is coming, while the other trees with the big wood and the small leaves, all these leaves are gonna go and fly out, which that's speculation, but just imagine that, how wild that would be and how realistic that would look. Again, I cannot wait for this game to come out, man. It's gonna be so much fun. Absolutely love it. For number 8, we all have seen, probably if you have looked at this footage, you've seen Jason shooting on a boat, right? The boat is in the middle of the water, he's shooting and you can see the bullet impact of the boat. And one of the wild things you haven't noticed probably is that the particles flying off of the boat because of the shooting, when they hit the water, they actually stay on the water and they float along with the water, which is a crazy detail because normally in games, particles just fly off and they just kind of despawn the moment that they impact something, if they even impact anything at all. Most of the times, particles don't even have collisions. Collisions is, you know, where the game knows that it touches something, right? That it touches an object. And that is super cool to see because, yeah, man, it's just wild that there's so much attention to detail and all these physics are just so intertwined. Imagine what happens when you drive a car that is exploding into the water and you have all the car parts just flowing up and up and up, or flowing down. I don't really know what the real physics of that is, if the car parts will stay up or go down to the bottom of the sea. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, man, there's so much opportunity, you know, driving a plane or flying a plane into the water. Water physics are gonna be a huge thing in my opinion, so it's gonna be very cool. For number 8, there is a part in the footage where there is a police chase and Lucia is at the back of a car shooting towards the police. You've probably seen that, but what you haven't noticed is that if you look at the NPC police officers who are driving the cars, when they go to an intersection and the traffic lights are red, the police will be carefully looking for cars because the police doesn't want to drive into cars that are going into traffic. So the police is very aware, all these NPCs are very aware of each other, which, oh man, all these things just really make me feel like there's unlimited things going on in terms of gameplay and variety, and we're gonna have so much content to make. You'll see so much cool and fun clips on the internet of random stuff happening in the game. It's gonna be amazing. For number 9, there's a lot of transportation, like a metro, but like up in the sky, if you know what I mean. But there's also gonna be maybe horses coming back from Red Dead Redemption 2, because there is one of the clips with Jason, there is a debug menu and you can see written input horse exit, and with wildlife being a big thing, that would be something that maybe they will just throw in there as well, given that they do have these assets from Red Dead Redemption and can revamp them a little bit. Now, it could also be because Red Dead Redemption 2 is made within the same software that this is just a leftover and it would be scrapped for GTA 6. But one thing that we do have here in Europe, I don't know if that's where you are from, but we have horses that are police horses, and police are being on horses, and this is, I don't know, still don't know why this is a thing, but it looks kind of cool, and maybe there's that in Vice City. I don't know. But it seems pretty cool. I don't know, man. For number 10, we have a little bit of a throwback to the whole police situation, because there is a clip where Lucia is in a shootout and there is a police officer getting out of his car with a bulletproof helmet. So this makes me think of cosmetics in the game, because if a police officer can wear it, Lucia and Jason can probably wear it as well. And so there would be maybe a cool shop that can sell you military outfits, maybe on the black market or something. That's more of speculation, but that would be super cool to see in GTA 6. Having bulletproof clothing, I think in in GTA 5, you didn't really have that. You can just buy armor, and also you had that Juggernaut suit when you were robbing the Paleto Bay and getting out of there with like the miniguns with Trevor, Franklin, and Michael. But it would be super cool to have individual clothing that are bulletproof in GTA 6. For number 11, we have the weapon wheel, which is making a return, but this time it's pretty limited because you probably can only carry one assault weapon on your back and one handgun, or possibly a semi-automatic gun, or two smaller melee weapons like a knife, or two tools like a flashlight, and there's some other slots for holstering your weapon and remaining unarmed. Now you're probably gonna be able to carry like a backpack or some other loot bag where you can put more weapons in there. There's probably gonna be like a cheat that unlocks the whole weapon wheel. I think that might be one of the things. But yeah, you're gonna be carefully choosing what kind of equipment, weapons, and melee you're gonna be using when going about doing missions and heists and different gameplay things. So be careful what you pick, and make sure that you're well prepared because you have a limited amount of options. Number 12 is all about carjacking, so stealing cars, Grand Theft Auto, baby. So in previous games, you basically just got to a car, you opened the door and you got in, or you pulled somebody out of there and then you got in, you drove off. But now we have a advanced hijack car system. For example, there is a immobilizer bypass which tells us that luxury car theft will be much harder. And there's also a slim jim that unlocks more older cars, and it seems that hijacking cars will be, you know, a lot more difficult to begin with, because there are events referencing the possibility of even failing to steal a car. So not all the time will you be able to successfully steal a car. For number 13, if you're in the car, you can actually sit in the passenger seat and just chill out there. You don't even have to get into the driver's seat. So in other GTAs, what you can do is you can get into the passenger seat, but the character will automatically just shove themselves over to the driving seat and you'll just be able to drive. Now in this case, you have a clip with Lucia entering a vehicle, and she enters in the passenger seat and then she starts pointing a gun behind her and she remains to be in that seat. So yeah, I don't know why this would be helpful, in what kind of way, but that's how it is, and that's a possibility. Maybe for online this has some type of purpose, or yeah, maybe you can get into a car seat and pull your seat down all the way so that the cops cannot see you laying down in the car or something, and you'll be a little bit closer to getting rid of that wanted level. I don't know, that's just speculation, but yeah, you can sit in the car seat of the passenger. And the big one, the final one, level 14 or number 14, it's restraining NPCs. So remember in Red Dead Redemption 2, you can throw a lasso to any NPC, restrain them, and just take them anywhere. Now you can do that as well, but in a little bit of a more modern way with zip ties. So there is this scene at Hank's waffle robbery where Lucia is actually putting zip ties behind NPCs, and I'm guessing that zip ties is gonna be like a item that you can hold, or maybe you have that everywhere because it's such a small little item, you know, and you can actually just use it on random NPCs. Now in free roam, that's gonna be hilarious. Maybe you can zip tie them, just take them into your car, maybe put them in the back of your car. There's so many possibilities to do this. So this is what I want you to do, guys. I want you to come up with scenarios given the information that you have right now about what you would do in free roam with all these options and all these possibilities that I talked about in this video. I would love to hear it, and thank you guys so much for watching. Again, like and subscribe, maybe join my memberships. You can be the first one ever. I don't have any memberships at all right now, so if you want to be named, go enjoy. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.